You know the feeling when the house is quiet and you hear footsteps when nobody is there, or a shift in the energy where it'll make your body go still? Is it paranormal? Is it in your mind? Or is it something not of this world? This is where your intuitive and psychic awareness can actually heighten when your physical attributes are quieted. So sometimes what you are feeling, that scared or sensing something in the room with you, know that you are not crazy. Know that you are just sensing things that are not perceived by the physical eye. Hey everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Spiritual Connections by Joelle. I'm your host, Joelle Burns, divine psychic medium, intuitive healer, and alien channeler. I'm whispering that because I tease because of the fact that I think sometimes I lose listeners or clients once I say that I'm a psychic medium that also channels an alien. I do one alien. I don't do all aliens, but I'm sharing that with you because it's fun. Today we're going to talk about all things that go bump in the night. Spirits, energy, or is it something else? I'm also your guide to all the unseen. So let's get into it. Tonight's episode is a little different for me. It's a little bit mysterious. It might be a little bit dark at times, maybe even a little unsettling, because we are talking about all things that go bump in the night. You know the feeling when the house is quiet and you hear footsteps when nobody is there, or a shift in the energy where it'll make your body go still? Is it paranormal? Is it in your mind? Or is it something not of this world? Or is it something much more subtle and much closer than you think? So starting off really, as a human experience, humans are wired to fear the unknown. The dark removes any of our control and will. And I always explain that when we're sleeping and in the dark, please excuse my voice. I'm sorry. I'm still getting over laryngitis. That's why my podcast has been a little delayed. I apologize. So when we're lying there still and sleeping, we're in a vulnerable state, right? Our vision weakens. We can't see as much. So suddenly our other senses heighten. And this is where things can get really interesting. This is where your intuitive and psychic awareness can actually heighten when your physical attributes are quieted. So sometimes what you are feeling, that scared or sensing something in the room with you, know that you are not crazy. Know that you are just sensing things that are not perceived by the physical eye. So let's talk about spirits that come bumps in the night. As a psychic medium, I'm going to be honest with you that not every creak, not every shadow, not every strange noise is spirit. But sometimes it is. Spirits don't usually show up like the movies that you've seen. They're not hiding behind corners or behind doors to jump out and scare you. Most of the time, spirit energy is very subtle. You might feel it as a presence or something in the room. You might not see anything at all, but just feel or sense something. You could feel a shift in the temperature or the hair stand up on your head or the back of your neck. And as I'm talking about this, I'm kind of getting all the goosebumps and like the woo chills. Or you just get the knowing that something feels like you're not alone or you're being watched. Oftentimes, it is not negative watching you. I always explain that spirit are just people. They're just on a different plane, a different realm. It could be a departed loved one. It could be somebody, it could be, especially for me, since I'm sensitive to everybody's loved ones, a lot of times it's other people's loved ones who come to me because they know that you're sensitive and they are kind of like knocking at your intuitive door when you're resting, of being like, hey, I know you can see me and sense me, and I've got a message for my loved one, and I'm here to tell you at 3 a.m. You're kind of like, not a convenient time, and you're freaking me out. Fear is usually what kicks in to make the experience overwhelming. Sometimes our imagination is what can also get the best of us with things that either we are hearing or sensing. At night it's quiet. Sometimes our brain just starts to fill in the gaps. Like, what if? What if it's a burglar? What if it's an intruder? What if it's a murderer? What if it's a demon? What if it's this? What if it's that? So your brain starts really can take the best of you when you are trying to rest and be in a peaceful state, and all of a sudden you're up and just running things through your imagination. How to know when it's an energy or something is actually with you instead of your imagination just making it up. It's more the claircognizance, which is that clear knowing, that undoubtable, unshakable force of a download of that internal dialogue explaining to you something's off, something doesn't feel right, something might be here in the room with me. Now, to decipher what might be in the room, could be spirits, which are just departed loved ones. It could also be interdimensional beings, aka aliens. When it comes to alien visitation at night when you're sleeping, it's different than spirit. I have been visited by both when sleeping, and I can tell you the experience is definitely different. We kind of tiptoed around what spirits feel like in the room. They feel, you just have that sense and knowing, and it's very subtle and kind of quiet. Sometimes you can see shadows. I do see spirit as a black shadow figure, and that can be really creepy, right? Like, I've seen them walking in my room and I'm like, no, we're not doing that tonight. So I get it that these can be very unsettling when it's alien or extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings, like I've said. There comes a sense of different things. You can hear certain things that do not sound human in nature. I've heard of a lot of clicking noises when it comes to alien visitations. I've heard this entry with them using their portal. It sounds like a water dripping into a bucket, but also like static at the same time, like this electronic but organic sound. And we have experienced it all throughout the house upstairs, either down the hallway, right next to our bed, in the closet, all in different areas of our spaces. Missing time is something that happens with alien visitation. I always find that if I am visited by alien beings, I tend to have this sleep where I am just dark black. Like, I don't dream, I don't anything. I'm just out, like I can't even. And when they release me, I do this gasp and I sit straight up in my bed. And I'll usually have a full bladder and need to use the restroom almost immediately because of how long that I had been with them, or if they make time stop, I'm not really sure. But a lot of times I'll have a very full bladder and feel the need to rush to the restroom. Strange lights are incorporated with aliens, and when I have been visited, there was a time that I sleep next to the window and we have curtains closed. We are not near, we do have a road behind our house, but it is down 3 stories. So it's not something that really shines in the window and illuminates it if somebody would be passing in the middle of the night. And we also live in a pretty quiet town that after 9 p.m., it's quiet, like everybody's sleeping. So when I was sleeping, my eyes were closed. I just had a sense that something was there. And at that same time, there were 3 different lights that I could see behind with my eyes closed. You know how you can see and sense lights with your eyes closed? And there were 3 different color lights. I want to say like green, white, and I don't know the third one. But it was rotating in this clockwise rotation. And I remember having this full sense of knowing, like, if I open my eyes right now, there's going to be something standing in front of me. I just knew it. And I was frightened. I was like bone chilling frightened, like knew that if I opened my eyes, there would be something. And I tightened up my eyes. I still saw the light. And eventually I got the nerve to open my eyes. And when I did, thank goodness nothing was there. But this not only happened one night, this happened 2 nights in a row. The second night, the same thing. Rotating lights, that fear and knowing that something was with me. I was not alone. And I'm almost shivering now telling the story. And again, I had to get up the nerve to open my eyes. And I opened my eyes and nothing again was there. I know that sounds kind of disappointing in the fact, but I don't think I was meant to see them. But believe me, something was there. And by the 3rd night, I was petrified to go to sleep. I did not want to go to sleep because I was so frightened to have that experience again. That's how much it was shaking me up. It took me quite a few nights to kind of calm my nerves and get a restful night's sleep after that happened. And usually when we have these fearful moments, because we're fearful of what we don't know, but it does not always mean that we are in danger. So let me break it down for what you can do to switch these into a positive experience and to help yourself get restful sleep when you have these visitations, when you have too much activity, too much paranormal activity, too much extraterrestrial activity. And both of them are a little bit different, but kind of similar. So let's go with paranormal activity, with spirits coming to visit you. So spirits are just people. They are just people. They're just on the other side. They might be curious. They might be there to tell you how much they love you, all the things. So if they are scaring you, I always ask them, listen, if you are my loved one, I am so happy that you are here to watch over me, but I am going to ask you to watch over us on a different plane where you do not walk amongst us. And please protect us and watch over us from a different plane. I always ask for a protection prayer of surrounding myself, my loved ones, and my house in God's divine white light. I also ask for Archangel Michael to come in, sometimes other archangels, to help rid the house of any energies that do not serve us. And I would like to keep the house quiet and still while we sleep. So that's one thing. I also will turn on the lights. Turning on the lights will just kind of calm my nerves and quiet the noises of the paranormal. First, I don't know if they're scared. It's not that they're scared of it. It's just more of like you turning on that light is demanding, like, we're not doing this right now. And I think it just clears that for them to get out of that space. With extraterrestrial, and you can also pray to Jesus. You can pray, you could do prayers, whatever you would like to do. Whatever makes you comfortable. I'm just explaining what I do. With extraterrestrial beings, they are different. They have their own free will, just like we do, and know that they are not here to harm you. So they are scary. They can be unnerving because they look different than us, right? So something that looks completely different to us and is in our room in the dark is super scary. It's unsettling. Believe me, I know. I haven't really physically seen them because since I am able to connect with aliens, I do ask them if they come to completely knock me out. And so that way I don't see them because I would get scared. And they honor that. They completely knock me out. Like I tell you that I know and I see that sometimes I'll know when they're around and I kind of cover my head with the covers and then they knock me completely out. I don't see them, or I haven't really had that full contact because I'm not ready or whatever it might be. I always explain to them, why don't you come during the day? Like I'd almost have a interaction with you down at the Publix shopping center as opposed to in the middle of the night in my room. Like how freaky. So you can always ask them to respect your boundaries, to get out, and that you need your sleep. I've explained to them before, like, I just need my sleep tonight. You need to leave me alone. So set that intention before you go to bed, and hopefully they respect you when you set that boundary because they really aren't here to hurt us. And usually if you are visited by aliens, it's because you have special abilities than other human beings. You are either more tapped in emotionally, spiritually, psychic abilities. There's usually some kind of reason of why they are visiting you more so than somebody else. So know that it's kind of an honor. I know it doesn't sound like that if you're an alien experiencer, and I get that. But know that you are safe, that you are protected, that you are grounded, that you have all the control. And I'm glad that I got to share some of these insights with you to hopefully help you get a better night's sleep. So thank you for listening to this week's episode of Things That Go Bump in the Night. And as always, I want to send you love and light.